Hey guys, good morning, good evening, wherever you are from, different parts of the world. Thank you for the design thinking take this initiative of this webinar, and I thank everyone for joining again. So my name is RK. I will be hosting this. I'm your design thinking coach. I think this is our third webinar, and I'll talk about it, what we have. But then, just for everyone's information, type in your information here, right? Like, where are you from? How many years of experience you have in design thinking overall? What is your skill level of design thinking? What is your expectation out of this webinar? So that will really, really help us to know, and most important is expectation from this webinar, right? So, do you want me to do any webinar, any specific topic? Because I make an initiative to bring new topics in every webinar related to design thinking, right? Do you have any, do you need any career guidance in design thinking, whatnot, right? So let us know what is your expectation of this webinar, and I'll see that I'll try to fulfill them in this current webinar or in the coming webinars. Okay, so so let's move to today's topic. So today's topic is use case. So we will be having three use case from three different industries, like and how the problem identifications are done, and how we typically come out with solutions using design thinking, right? So almost 75% of the industries are using design thinking directly or indirectly. So, and design thinking is the 21st century, need of every industry to stay competitive and make sure their end users are happy with the product and service which is being produced. Uh, Right. So moving to the use case here. so before we go, like this is our today's webinar here, which is high-level use cases from manufacturing industry, police department, and diamond industry. I'll give a very high-level use case. I think going forward, I will take a typical example of in detail. Maybe I will talk about one use case and I'll go through in detail how it is being done. But today we'll be covering three different industries, and we'll see how design thinking gets plugged in. But yeah, if you guys are new to this webinar series, please go back to the other two webinars, which was introduction to design thinking. This is wrong. This is not introduction to design thinking. So we did like where is design thinking in my organization structure was the second webinar. So there's a typo error here. My apologies for that. So that's the second webinar, but then you can get that information in my YouTube channel, right? So today we will be focusing on these three use cases, and we will see how design thinking is helping different industries. And no matter which industry you are from, you'll get an idea like how design thinking is helping and how it can help your industry. Like, for example, if you're from a fashion industry, if you're from an architectural industry, or construction, maybe I could say, or information technology, whichever industry, right? So design thinking can get plugged in into any industry. It's an industry neutral approach, and it is practiced irrespective of the roles, right? So let's jump into the next slide. All right, great. So yeah, let's move. Okay, pretty quick. All these live webinars I've been currently hosting in YouTube, so please support us. So this is our YouTube channel, which is Embrace Design Thinking. So you can see the playlist here, which is Design Thinking. So we'll have all these, like you have this first webinar here, and things like that. And you will have also bonus content here, like how we do our workshops. There is a Vispa connect with the co-founder that we did. So there are many other things which is not part of webinars. So please subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification button and stuff like that, so you keep getting the details here, right? So in every webinar, I'll be giving you some bonus, and in this webinar also there is a bonus. I will let you know how to get it, and subscribing will really help us support us. For example, if you see this channel name is pretty crappy, right? I can only change this if I have at least 50 subscribers. To be honest, I'm just striving with 19 subscribers right now. So if you really like the content, by end of this webinar, please hit that subscribe button. Okay, and when we go live, you'll get all this information and stuff. Okay, I'm just moving to the next case. I don't want to waste time of yours here. So let's look at the first use case which we promised. So the manufacturing industry, right? So what's happening in manufacturing industry is, for example, now most of the things will remain common in the use cases. It's only the problem statement and the solution that is coming out will be a little bit different, right? So let's look into the manufacturing industry. So there is a manufacturing industry. It could be any industry, which is manufacturing an automobile or, for example, right? And maybe manufacturing any heavy engineering stuff, right? So those kind of manufacturing industry, heavy engineering is what we're talking about. So it could be an XYZ industry, and they thought like, yes, let's take the design thinking practice to our organization. So what they initially will do is they will try to understand the existing pain point, frustration, ideas, try to get goals, what are the problems and everything. They will do some market analysis, interview and survey, etc. Right? So that will come to the strategic layer of design thinking. So if you're not sure what a strategic layer, please look into our previous webinar number 2, where you have where is design thinking in my organization. So you'll understand what is the strategic layer over there. But it will start from a strategic layer. They will do all this interview analysis and everything, and then once they get that data, they will start a design thinking workshop with the senior executive people and a mix of different employee from different level. And this is the reason why I'm saying design thinking is practiced irrespective of the roles, right? So in manufacturing industry, it could start from the worker who is actually working on ground to assemble something, as he can be a part of workshop. We encourage them to be a part of a workshop so that they can tell the pain points that they are going through and what are the needs. So typically, even a worker can be a part of this workshop. Not everyone, but you can handpick one worker from one supervisor, maybe some manager, project managers, and stuff like that. Have a mix of people at a different level. Till you can go to senior executive level, get into a room, and along with the design thinking practitioner, coach, and other people in the same room, maybe like 20-25 people getting together and understanding what's happening in this manufacturing industry, right? And once they do the design thinking workshop, what they typically do is, after getting all this analysis, interview and everything, they'll start talking about it. They'll try to understand who is a persona, how to do empathy mapping, as a scenario, ideation, prototyping and stuff like that, right? So they'll go through this. These things can be a little bit of jargon to you, and if you're new to design thinking, I'll just like to flip my screen a little bit, and I would really recommend you to go through this course, which I have designed, and it is approved. It is in Udemy. So it is the design thinking fundamental course, and I'll give you the link in the description below. So you can see that it has 38 lectures. It's a 2 hours of course, and it will really help you to upscale or understanding about design thinking, what it is. So it gives you like, how did it start, what is the introduction, product versus service, real life experiences we'll be talking about diverge, converge, very things, you have design thinking process and stuff like that. So you'll also see there is a resource, downloadable contents are available, and there is also assignment in each and everything. You can see assignment 9. You can see here, I think in one of them it is not there, but most of the things you will see there are assignments in almost all the sections here, so it's very nice. Just go through it, so you'll understand. If you are new to it, I would recommend this fundamental. And I'm also taking a stab at creating a 16 hours of next advanced level course in Udemy. But as of now, as on today, which is 12th of December 2021, I have one design thinking fundamental course available for you, so that you can take the benefit out of it and understand design thinking in depth. Okay, so let's go back. So basically this will happen. So what we're talking about is this industries will do all these persona, empathy, as is, prototype, to be scenario and everything, and they will come. So they will identify at the end of the workshop, which is typically 2 days of workshop, which you guys will be engaging in your industry, whichever industry it is. And for example, here it is manufacturing industry, right? So the problem statement they identified, one of the top problem statement which this manufacturing industry identified was that the workers are doing heavy lifting from many years. So if they do that for many years, they damage their shoulder joints or maybe ligaments get tear, right? And when that happens, it requires yeah, tens and thousands of dollars in the surgery. Moreover, it takes a lot of time for rehabilitation, right? Can you understand the depth of this problem statement now, right? These kind of problem statement will only come when you have mix of people in this kind of workshop. So this manufacturing industry, they found like there is a problem here, right? And during this workshop, within this 2 days of workshop, they came up with a lot of ideas, slicing and dicing. Some were very costly, some were very expensive, some were taking too many long time. They came up with a lot of ideas how to solve this problem, and they selected one idea or solution, and that solution was to create an exoskeleton for the future assembly line. Now, what is exoskeleton? Exoskeleton. Exoskeleton is nothing but it's a wearable thing that you can wear on top of your body, and it's a mechanical kind of a device, mechanical, electronic, and other stuff. You can Google it. So this exoskeleton will help you to pick up heavy objects, with very less force, right? So that's it is. Endoskeleton is what we have inside our body, right? The actual skeleton that we have, it's called endoskeleton, and this is something which we call as exoskeleton, which we wear outside our body, right? So Google it. Guys, I really encourage you to just go and Google this and try to find exoskeleton, maybe for the manufacturing and stuff like that. So you'll get some really cool pictures out of it. Due to copyright, I haven't put it over here. Okay. So this was a solution that they picked up because this was simple. They also made a small prototype out of it, like how a heavy object could be picked up. They actually designed a very small lever, and with that they were able to see like how easily you can pick up a heavy object. That's a small prototype which they designed, in the workshop. Now everyone unanimously they take a decision. Yes, let's go with this. This is what's the outcome of the workshop. So this is the beauty of design thinking workshop, right? So they tried to first look into this. Now I'm not saying this is the only problem statement that they came up with, but during this workshop they would have come up with a lot of different problem statements, but they prioritized one of them, and they came up with a solution for the top problem, right? So typically in 2 days of workshop, you will identify everything but prioritize one and come up with ideate and come up with solution for one of the top problem statement. Now what happens next, right? So once this has been done, typically this prototype and solution that will provide a better user experience. So people will be happy. People will try to join this company. They will leave other company and they will come to this company. They start talking about, hey, I don't have to do heavy lifting in this company. The friends, they will come to know about this industry. They will move to this industry, right? So that's how it happens, right? Like when a company is giving you some better user experience, people will move. Will try to that shift left into it, right? So that's the beauty of it. So when this happens, the outcome of this 2 days workshop is not a usable product. It's just a prototype. It's an idea or a solution out there, right? And what happens is typically after this workshop, this idea has to be presented for a business approval. So the top executive people, will take this idea as a business case, and they will present it to the higher management for the business approval. And they will have all the artifacts from the design thinking workshop. So the design thinking thinkers or coach who is facilitating this entire workshop, they will create the complete use case and solutioning, and that is one of the main thing which design thinking people do. They'll create this use case and they will give it to the business so they can together present it to the higher ups. And once the business people look into it, they see the value out of it, they have to approve it, right? So once they approve, it's only then they will find for a sponsorship, right? For this assignment, right? Maybe the spelling is wrong, but basically after the business approves it, they try to find who's going to sponsor this whole project, because it could be a multi-million-dollar project, or it could be less than that, or whatever it is, right? Creating this exoskeleton, you may have to get another vendor, talk to them, and all those things. A lot of things happens to make sure we create this kind of exoskeleton and give it to all your employees in the manufacturing industry. So the sponsorship assignment will be done. Once the sponsor assignment has been done, they need the sponsor will activate the people in this industry, they will find out which practice, which solution, and which delivery team has to be identified so that they can they become the part of this project. So it could be which practice, like, and exoskeleton could be there could be a practice in manufacturing. I don't know like what could have been a structure in manufacturing industry, but they might have some practice, maybe like the workers who are working there, right? So they may have some people over there, some solutioning, or they may have to even get another vendor out from a market who they can give this project to so that they can do it for them. Typically, that is what would happen, because this construction could be, they are expertise in automobile. It could be an automobile manufacturing industry, right? So they do not have the skills or ability to produce exoskeleton within their own organization because they produce automobiles. So they may hire the practice, solution, or delivery team entirely from the market, who will who they will bid and everything and get the project out. So once they get it, for example, that particular vendor will build it, develop it, test it, and release this thing. And during this time is what even the design thinking people could be a part of it and try to be part of this development team and try to ensure that this complete development team is in line with the problem statement and the solution of this workshop, right? So that's how they come out with this. Typically, this kind of project can depend upon the complexity of the project. It might take time. So like an exoskeleton, coming out with a proper thing could even take maybe an year to come out with a proper manufacturing and everything, testing and stuff like that, the actual ones, right? Not the prototype, but the actual product may take some more time. So but then that's how it works in industry. So now like how design thinking workshop helped to identify the actual problem, came up with the solution, and how it got business approval, sponsorship, and how it goes to practice, maybe within your own organization or outside the organization, depending upon the appetite of the company, whether they have it or not, and then how it is built, test, and release. So once it has been released, they will get this product, give it to the employees so that they can wear the exoskeleton and start working on it, right? So so that the problem statement of heavy lifting is resolved. They do not cause any damage to any of the joints, no ligament tear. They do not have to waste tens and thousands of dollars into surgery, no rehabilitation, right? This will give such a good experience. You imagine two things in your scenario: one before exoskeleton and one after exoskeleton. If you are a worker, you are working in a heavy lifting place as a worker, imagine how much load you have to pick up from one place to another place, right? It's tedious, right? So yeah, I think industry has already done this. There are some use cases around it. I'll see if I can put some link in the description below related to this so that you can have a look into it, right? So yeah, keep an eye on this, and yeah, let's move to the another use case. So the another use case is police department. I will not take much time as I used for previous one. So this all things remain the same. The idea, the problem statement that they find out, similarly how we did it for the manufacturing industries, is the same. Only the oh, this is not a police department. It should be the problem statement here. So so the problem statement is the police department, they reported that the sterilizing wipes and hand sanitizers have been in short supply for it interceptor SUVs, right? So during this pandemic in 2020 or during 2019 and the start of 2021, there were police department in New York who were reporting this that they're out of the supplies and they were having a major issues when they have to hand over their vehicle when the shift changes, right? They have to hand over the interceptors and they have to completely wipe and sterilize it. So when sometimes they were out of supplies, and that was creating a chaos, like how we can do it, right? Because in New York you will see like there's a lot of policing and stuff that keeps happening around that particular city, right? So there were many, so that was a major problem, and since they were not able to solve this problem, they hired design thinking, or they took the design thinking approach, and they did the similar kind of workshop. And one of the participant who were into this, a small company, they came up with a very beautiful idea. Like many people came up with many ideas, but this was the one thing that got selected. And this is one of the beauty, right? Like everyone is participating from different angles, and different ideas comes in. Sometimes some ideas might sound very stupid, but that's what works out, fabulously. So the solution was, one of the company, they suggested like, hey, why don't you leverage the Interceptor heaters, because the Interceptor SUV is a very heavy SUV and it has a heater inside it which you just program it a little bit, it will completely heat to a different level, and within 15 minutes the whole SUV from inside can be sanitized, and you don't have to wipe it and stuff. So this was a very fabulous idea, and within few days, this company created that software and added into the Interceptor, the SUVs in the programming module. And when they used to select that option, they will come out of the US SUV and they will heat it up for 15 minutes. Done. You get a ready SUV and ship and hand it over to the next shift people to take that SUV. How cool is that, right? So that is what was done. Similarly, it went through all business approvals. Sponsors were given. They gave it to a vendor, and that vendor did this software development and gave this to police department, right? So they built the product, they tested it in one SUV and everything, and they released it and stuff like that. So this was a very short program, and definitely design sprint is something which comes into, like, this was a short program, so probably in like 4 weeks or 6 weeks, 6 weeks of design sprint, you have the ready product available to release it, right? So that's a small sprint. The previous one, which we looked, the Exoskeleton, it might take a 1 year time, but still, the touch pace, the cadence of design sprint will be different in different projects. Smaller the projects, more the sprints and stuff like that. But that's an area which I'm just doing a research on right now, so I won't be talking much into it. But yeah, you got the gist of it. Now let's look into another one. My apologies, police department, and this is one which we are looking into, the diamond industry. This is not police department, my bad. So the problem statement here in the diamond industry is, what happened in diamond industry was, since decade, people face issue of identification of the originality of the diamonds. Like, is it authentic? There are many things, like, is it authentic? What is the grading quality? Yada yada yada. There are many things, right? So what happened was, like, if I'm not sure, not everybody will be buying diamonds, but the people who buy diamonds, they have all these questions, right? And there's a particular persona, a particular segment of people who buys diamond, and they have this issue a lot. You don't know where the diamond is coming from, right? You have no clue what it is. So when it went through, this was a major problem in diamond industry, right? Authenticity, grading, where it is coming from, where it is originated, because the people who like diamonds, they wanted to know everything about it, and before this, they had no clue how to authenticate that. So solution was to ensure there's a transaction, right? Each transaction is a tamper proof transaction and always available for ready reference. So they wanted to, the simple solution was like, can we not have a transaction that cannot be tampered, okay, and it is always available readily for reference, so that if you take a diamond, you completely know the end to end, where was this mining happened, till cutting, grading, who all brought it, right? So that was simple idea, right? That is what they wanted to have as an outcome of this workshop. If we do this, we'll be good. But then the thing that I've written in this bracket, this only came here. So somebody liked this, the business approved it, the sponsorship got, and when it went to the practice, or when it went to some vendor, it was picked up by blockchain company. So blockchain is what, like, it's a technology which can record the transaction that occurred during the diamond lifespan, or it could be typically for anything. So here they wanted to capture the diamond lifespan. So what they did is, using blockchain, they started tracking where the diamond was originated, what kind of cutting and grading it went through, who was the first owner, second owner, third owner, or what all ownership it went through, and all those information was uploaded into blockchain, and it was recorded and was tamper free. So when you buy a diamond from a diamond industry, which is I'll just change this, it's distracting me a little bit. Diamond industry, right? So this is actually diamond industry. Okay, so this is what the diamond industry is about here. Yeah, so this is how it will come through, right? So again, it went through, and you have this here, right? Great. So I think these were the three use cases on a very high level. The gist of it is this is how design thinking workshop happens. This is on a strategic level. The organization should, every industry should say that, hey, I want design thinking, or my organization should be a design led company. When they take a stab at that decision, they do all this research and everything. The beauty of such kind of workshop, any industry should do design thinking workshop and this thing at least once a year to understand what's happening with their end user, and then they will come to know, hey, this is what the major problem of my end user is. They are using my product, which is diamond, and this is their main problem. How can I solve that problem for my end user? This is how I will solve it. I have to invest, I have to put something into it so that I can give them what they need to make them happy, right? That's why I'm saying now, if you have heard the statement, if, maybe you can rewind it and hear it again. So this is applicable to every industry, right? Perfect. So without wasting any time, so this is yeah, again I'm saying, just subscribe to our YouTube channel. If this was informative, I will come back with a lot of additional content and stuff. And yeah, so as I promised for the bonus, I'll quickly let you know where's the bonus. So bonus, what you need to do is very simple. Just type m.me and embrace design thinking. Just look into this. I will be ending this webinar in some minutes, but then you can rewind and you can check m.me embrace.designthinking.com. Sorry, m.me embrace design thinking. That's all. Press enter. Make sure that you're logged into your Facebook before in the same browser or in the mobile. So once you do this, you see this, you get this kind of options, right? So share design thinking practitioner certification link. If you click this, you will get my Udemy link. If you can book my session with me and stuff like that. But the bonus is here. So if you click I want bonus, just wait for some time. My bots will automatically reply you that, hey, this is my bonus. Just click on this bonus. It will take you to a place here, and you can see the bonus toolkit of design thinking, right? So I will have another webinar on how to use this toolkit, but I think it's just loading. Yeah, it's an 11 page of bonus. You can go and have a look into it. You have persona, empathy, as is, all these toolkits are there. So you have a mural setup and how you can use it. You can also click here and you can chat with me if you have any questions related to this bonus toolkit for every phase of design thinking, right? So do try my course of design thinking fundamental if you're new to it. I also run a lot of workshops. So the town script, I'll put a link in the description below so that you can look into it. So this is a 16 hours of workshop that I do. So my batch 24 is coming up on 8 Jan 2022. See you there for sure, and do like and subscribe to my channel. I really need to grow the subscribers so I can at least change the name of my channel and do some awesome things, because YouTube gives you a lot of other things. And also you can go to linktree/cccare.rk and you can see my Udemy courses, chat with me, my different Facebook, business, Twitter and Instagram accounts. All right, so thank you for that, staying back, and if you have any questions, do let me know and I will answer them. All right, thank you very much. See you in the webinar.